So the orders you hear about yelling no cameras, them is white boys. Yeah, that's Antifa, man. Oh, we got a gun, baby. Gun, baby. Oh, they shooting. Oh, he shot him. Yeah, that's Antifa, man. Oh, we got a gun, baby. Oh, they shooting. Oh, he shot
This
him.
young man made an unfortunate mistake of being in the wrong place at the wrong time and being aggressively assaulted by a group of Antifa, George Soros funded protesters in a place that they don't belong, trying to assault a minor child in public before scaring him by discharging unlawfully a gun and causing him to turn around and discharge his weapon at the closest adult pedophile trying to assault him. When the Not Fucking Around coalition was walking around with guns, the leftists weren't crying, even when they shot themselves. It's only because it was a young white militiaman who had a gun who was trying to defend an American city. Well, you know what? If we saw a single group of leftists trying to defend an American city, there wouldn't be need for the right young militia to go out there, and then you wouldn't have to call us right-wing white supremacist nationalists just because our skin pigmentation is white and we support our country. You could do it too as Democrats. You don't have to tear down our country. You don't have to try and burn down cities just because you're upset about the outcome of something that didn't even actually result in the death of an individual. The police officers who were involved in the shooting still have plenty of time to be arraigned and arrested, and all of the businesses that you've destroyed because you're angry that the mainstream media has used clickbait titles like white supremacist indiscriminately murders BLM activists, which is essentially the furthest thing from the truth if you've objectively analyzed the video evidence. And that's really all there is to say about this. This young man made an unfortunate mistake of being in the wrong place at the wrong time and being aggressively assaulted by a group of Antifa, George Soros funded protesters in a place that they don't belong, trying to assault a minor child in public before scaring him by discharging unlawfully a gun and causing him to turn around and discharge his weapon at the closest adult pedophile trying to assault him. That did tragically result in the loss of life of that man. And I'm not sure if he was technically there as a BLM activist, but it's clear that he was an instigator. What's also clear is that the other men who were chasing him before and after that initial conflict were not doing so as justifiable police or trying to maintain the peace, or as their whole movement suggests, trying to keep the peace and stop someone from being killed just because they're suspected of a crime. Instead, as a vigilante mob of adults, they try and stomp, literally, hit him with a skateboard, execute him point blank with a gun, and a man standing in the background who decides, maybe I shouldn't get involved with a bat, all decide that, maybe we shouldn't continue to assault this young man. You can even see the man right here who sucker punched him in the head is still standing here, too cowardly to assault the man that now he has caused to trip and fall and discharge his rifle into people, resulting in the death of individuals, not the murder, not the intentional homicide. This is a young man being forced to react to the situation that he has placed himself into, but that the left had provided. If you weren't out there trying to burn down and destroy an American city, again, you wouldn't be calling for the people on the right, the only people who still stand for the American flag, who still stand for our police officers, who still stand for our president, and just because one random act of violence perpetrated by the police occurs in one inner city of a Democratic-run hellhole in our country does not mean that every white person across the country and every cop is responsible for some insufficiently unfair disparity that is caused and perpetuated just because of the pigmentations of American skin color. Who's trying to divide you by skin color? Who's trying to make this a story of skin color? You should be mad at the mainstream media. You should be rioting at CNN and at MSNBC for feeding you this race-baiting bullshit. But instead, you're all piling on just like that crowd of idiots who got shot on a 17-year-old minor before all the facts have come out, before you've heard his legal defense, and you're calling him a racist. Just like Nick Sandmann, you're all going to look real foolish when this young man is acquitted of all crimes except for possibly a misdemeanor of possessing a rifle in a state where he should not have had one at an age that, as far as I'm concerned, hopefully the NRA and most gun, God-loving, God-fearing Americans believe is the Second Amendment shall not be infringed. I don't believe that it stipulated an age limit on the right to defend yourself from others or from the government. And I think it's about time that more Americans stand up willing to defend their cities, not with weapons, but with words. I think that we should be terrified of the mainstream media's ability to incite mob violence on cities, and we should decry collectively as a group and call for an end to it. The mainstream media should be held accountable for their titles that are purposely directed to incite violence. These are publishers, and they should be sued and have to be retracting these stories that are purposeful in intent. I hope that this young man gets over the trauma of this night and can somehow find some semblance and resolve to make a normal life. Because essentially, as leftists are proud, I've seen memes that say, oh, just wait till everyone with some melanin in their skin bends him over in prison. You know, that's real rich, you know, defending a pedophile who was attacking a minor. Or another adult who's been convicted of serial spousal abuse, trying to attack a minor. Or another adult wielding a gun illegally as a felon, trying to execute a minor. I thought you guys cared about actually apprehending suspects and allowing the legal system to do its job. But every time it happens, especially to someone with a pigment that you don't appreciate, you go out and you attack American cities, and then you wonder why people come out to start to defend them. This is the Triggered Newscast, and we'll see you at the next one.
You got Antifa, you feel me?
Yeah.
The white boys that are yelling at you, those are Antifa. They got a grip of Antifa that's trying to get very organized to burn shit down, so. Hey, you guys, you can only watch it from over here, man. You can't really be that close up. So between a certain part of a certain section of Black Lives Matter and maybe, I'm saying at least about 20 white dudes from Antifa, you can't get up close on the up on them, man. They just made an example out of that guy, and I'm trying to help him out. So the white dude I was just talking to, or whatever he is right here, he just got his phone slapped. He got his phone slapped out on him and socked at the same time. This dude right here, walking away. This dude right here got his phone slapped and blindsided. So the orders you hear about yelling no cameras, them is white boys. Yeah, that's Antifa, man. Oh, he got a gun, baby. Oh, they shooting. Oh, he shot him.